Meaning that instead of trying to find the area, they'll give us the area, and then we have to use that to find a missing side. So, first of all, do you see all of these formulas across the top? Which one of these formulas is area of a parallelogram? Which one do I use for area of a parallelogram? Between the first one and the second one. Look at your notes. Go to page 3 in your notes, I think. What's the area formula for a parallelogram? Base times height, right? So this formula here, that's the formula for the area of a parallelogram. So write area equals base times height. Now, what did they say the area was for the parallelogram? 70. So I want you to put the 70 where A is. And it says the height is 10. And they want us to find the base. So B times 10. So we have to solve this equation for the base. In other words, can somebody open the door? I think somebody's knocking. In other words, what number do I multiply by 10? What does the B value have to be so that when I multiply it by 10, I get 70? 7, right? If you were to divide both sides by 10, you would get that the base is 7 centimeters. That is your answer right here. All right, any questions about that? I'll give you a minute to fill that in because this is a really short chapter. I'm only teaching 4 days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday review, Thursday we take a quiz. It's really, really short because we're only going over 4 formulas. Okay, so we got a really short turnaround before we take our next quiz. It's not out of 100. The test we took earlier this week was out of 100. This next one is a quiz. It's only out of 50. Okay. But again, we're getting so close to the end of the semester. We only have 2 more tests when we come back from spring break. And I do want everyone to get the best grade possible. Okay. So let's look at question number 2. Number 2 is asking us to find the height. Whenever you're asked to find height, I want you to write Pythagorean theorem. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. That's how you find the height. Go ahead and write that formula. We're on the first page in our bell work. So, yeah. No, it's in the same packet. It's all the same packet. Because I just put it all together and made it one packet. So, the bell work and notes are together. I know we're out of pencils, but I think I saw one on the floor. Isn't there a pencil over there on the floor somewhere? I saw one.
It's right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, so in this triangle right here, I'm going to zoom in. This 5, this is C. C is always across from the right angle. It's always the longest side. Think of the hypotenuse as the slant. It's the side that goes, it's not the straight side. All right, and then these 2 would be A and B. So let's fill it in. We got 5 squared equals A squared plus H squared. So pick up your calculators if you need to. Figure out what is 5 times 5, what is 5 squared, and 3 times 3. Yep, so we got 25 equals 9 plus H squared. All right, now what do I need to do to find H? What would be my next step? Subtract the 9. So subtract 9 from 25. So in your calculator, figure out what is 25. 25 minus 9. 16. It's calculated right there. It's literally right there next to you. 16 equals h squared. And then you got to take the square root. And what would be the square root of 16? 4. So 4 is the height. That is your height. So whenever you see where it's asking you to find the height, think Pythagorean theorem. So let me go ahead and zoom out so you can see the entire question. And that is today's bell work. I choose the bell work based off the questions that will be on the test. So yesterday we talked about area of a parallelogram and area of a trapezoid. Today, go to page, take out your homework. Let's do number 8 in your homework real quick. And then we'll get to the lesson. So take out your homework. Let's look at question number 8. So first of all, it says draw a trapezoid. So let's draw our trapezoid. It told us that we have bases of 12 and 14. So I got a 12 and a 14. This here is the area. Okay. And they want us to find, what they're asking us to find is the height. So this is what they want us to find. They want us to find h. So formula for the area of a trapezoid, if you don't remember, it should be in your notes, I think on page 4 of your notes. If you look in your blue packet on page 4, I believe, we have the formula for area of a trapezoid. A trapezoid is 1/2 height B1 plus B2. So let's go ahead and substitute in. Can we please put away our phones for a second? Thanks so much, Leslie. I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and put in everything that we know. All right, do we know the area? Did they tell us the area? Right here. What did they say the area was? So 322 equals 1/2. Did they tell us the height? Nope, we don't know the height, so we're going to leave that as a h. Do we know our bases? What are our bases? 12 and 14. So what I want you to do in your calculator is I want you to put the 1/2 and multiply it by 12 plus 14. So in your calculator, we can't put h in the calculator, obviously, because we don't know what h is. But you can add 12 plus 14 and then multiply that by 1/2 to figure out what that number would be. So 12 plus 14 is 26. And what's 1/2 of 26? 13. So what we end up getting is 322 equals 13 times the height. So what would I have to do now to find the height? Divide. So in your calculator, go ahead and take 322 and divide that by 13. All right, what is 322 divided by 13? What'd you get, Gladys? 24. Anybody else get 24? I don't have a calculator, so. Nobody else got 24? Oh, it's a decimal. So you got 24 point what? All right, so we'll say 24.76, and this feet equals the height. And that would be your answer. I thought that question was kind of hard, but that could be on the test. So I wanted to kind of go through it with you because I thought that was a little tricky. All right, so now let's go to our notes and let's talk about our next quadrilateral, which is a kite. So go to page 5 in your blue packet. When we're talking about a kite and a rhombus, they both have 4 sides. The difference between a kite and a rhombus is that for a rhombus, all 4 sides are the same length, kind of like a square. But for a kite, the top 2 are the same and the bottom 2 are the same. But regardless, in order to find the area, and it's kind of small, I'm going to rewrite it kind of bigger. If you want to, you can do the same. But here's your formula for area of a kite or a rhombus. In order to find the area of a kite or a rhombus, you need to know the distance from tip to tip. So you need to know this distance from this part to this part and from this part to this part. You multiply those 2 lengths and divide them by 2. So we go here to here, here to here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go to the next page and let's try to find it. So when I'm looking at this kite, this 6 that you have right here is only this piece. So from here to here, this is also 6. So we're going to put a 6 here. So from here to here, I'm going to call that my diagonal 1. Diagonal 1 is equal to 6 plus 6, which is 12. Diagonal 2, which goes from here to here, is equal to what plus what? 7 plus 7, good. And 7 plus 7 is 14. So to find the area, step 2, area is going to equal 1/2 of 12 times 14. So pick up your calculator, type that in. And again, if you don't want to type in a fraction, you could also put 0.5 because 0.5 is the same as 1/2. So take 12 times 14 and divide it by 2. What'd you get? 84? Anybody else get 84? I don't have my answers up here. All right, so it would be 84 millimeters squared, and that would be your final answer. So in order to find for a kite and a rhombus, we have to know our diagonals. All right, so that's all we're going to do today is keep practicing. So I want you to try to do this one. So again, this would be your diagonal. So from here to here is the same length as here to here. So diagonal 1 is 18. Diagonal 2 is 10. Go ahead and find the area. Notice how it went from edge to edge. That's why I didn't have to add it twice. Because the whole length was 10 and the whole length is 18. So we didn't have to add it together. So did you get 90? 90 meters squared. All right, go to the next page. Let's see the next one. No, you don't have to turn it. It's okay. Let's see. A couple more. All right, try to do that next one by yourself. It gave you both of the diagonals. So for the next ones, those should go pretty fast. Take a minute. For page 7, go ahead. We'll start with this question. You have both of your diagonals. Go ahead and find the area. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do these 3 questions. Or not 5 minutes, maybe 3. All right, I got the first 2. Let me see who has my same answers. Oh, well, let's type it in, bro. How did I get something totally different? Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what I typed it in. I got the wrong answer. Let me fix mine. 1 second. Okay, did you do this one yet?
I thought I probably saw that. Oh, I didn't see it because.
It's okay. D1. So you see how it goes from edge to edge? You don't have to add it. So the whole thing is 16 and the whole thing is 9. So diagonal 1 is 16 and diagonal 2 is 9. So you don't have to add it. Yeah, I got a decimal too.
Okay. Can I have a decimal or?
Yeah, just put the decimal there. So you do want to make sure that you put your units too. Yep, good. Okay, that's right. So now work on this one. Do this one. So make sure you're putting your units. Oh, let me see. Sorry. I got that. I haven't done that one yet. So do you see how this 16 goes from here to here? You don't need to add it. The only reason why you had to add it for this one is because this was only half. The whole diagonal is 16. The whole diagonal is 16 and this whole diagonal is 9. So erase that and redo it. So you really, I see a lot of people adding 16 plus 16 and 9 plus 9. You don't have to do that in this diagram. And the reason why is because notice how the diagonal goes the whole length of the kite. So your answer for this first one should be 1/2. Diagonal 1 is 9. Diagonal 2 is 16. So it's 1/2 9 times 16, which is 72. For this one, it's the same thing. See how my diagonal goes the entire length of the kite? The entire width. So diagonal 1, 21, diagonal 2, 17. Area is 1/2 17 times 21, or 178.5. Now this one is a little different. This one we do have to add. Okay? So for this one, diagonal 1 is 3 plus 3, which is 6. Diagonal 2 is 4 plus 9, which is 13. And the area would be 1/2 6 times 13. Go ahead, type that in your calculator. What do you get when you take 1/2 6 times 13? 39. Anybody else get 39? And you have to put the unit squared. If you don't put that meter squared, you do lose 1/2 point. So make sure you're putting your units. I'm going to leave that up there. Any questions about that? All right, our last two questions. Let's go to page 8. It says use the area to find the missing measurement. So the first thing you want to decide is, what kind of shape is this? Is it a parallelogram? Is it a trapezoid? Or is it a kite? It's a kite. Area of a kite, let's write the formula. Area for a kite is 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So they told us that one of my diagonals is 58.88. And they also said that the area, excuse me, thank you. The area is 978.88. So let's go ahead and substitute those two numbers in. So for the area, we're going to put our 978.88. That equals 1/2 of diagonal 1, which is 58.88, times diagonal 2. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and figure out what this number is. Pick up your calculator. Take 1/2 of 58.88. So take 58.88 and divide that by 2. $29.44. Anybody else get 29.44? So 29.44 times diagonal 2. So what do I need to do to figure out the length of diagonal 2? Not subtract, because they're being multiplied. So what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. Good. So divide both sides by 29.44. So pick up your calculator. Take 978.88 and divide that by 29.44. And what's the unit? Centimeters. And that would be your answer. All right, last question. So now we have a rhombus, and it says the rhombus, it says that A to E is 7.3. The area of the rhombus is 96 square inches. We have to find X. All right, so again, we're going to do the same thing. Area for a rhombus is 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So let's figure out what is diagonal 1. In this example, do you see how it tells us that A to E? See where it says A to E is 7.3. So how do I figure out what this would be from A to C? Then I would have to take 7.3 plus 7.3. So diagonal 1 is going to equal 7.3 plus 7.3. So let's figure out what that is in your calculator. Yeah, what did you say, Cortez? 14.6. And they told us that the area is 96. And we know diagonal 1. So let's go ahead and substitute in these numbers. Area is 96. That equals 1/2. And then that would be 14.6 times diagonal 2. So again, in your calculator, go ahead, type this in to see what this number is. Take 1/2 of 14.6. That gives you 7.3 equals or times diagonal 2. And again, they're being multiplied. So you need to divide both sides by 7.3. So pick up your calculator and take 96 divided by 7.3. What'd you get, Juan? 15.1? 13.1? I don't have a calculator, so I'm dependent on y'all. Did you get 13.1 too? Everybody got 13.1? Okay. So 13.1 equals diagonal 2. But we got to keep in mind that they don't want to know, so diagonal 2 would be from here to here. But they're not asking for the whole diagonal. They only want half of the diagonal. So in this example, X is going to equal 13.1 divided by 2. So diagonal 2 is 13.1, but they want us to find half of the diagonal. So if you take 13.1 and divide that by 2, 6.55 inches. Okay, use this time to finish out homework 1. You should be able to finish it completely. It is due tomorrow. I am giving extra credit for it today, but I am looking for accuracy in there. If you need help, I will help you. If there's any points from the last unit, a couple people said that they had some homework. Usually I don't take it late, but I will accept it today. So if you have homework from Module 5, I will take it today. Today's the last day for Module 5. And I will open up Skyward again and put